But this notion that you drop Kevin Durant in anywhere and they are a championship contending team is no longer true. See, every time we have a conversation, they try to slide LeBron. That's not true because LeBron went to Miami. Okay, what were they doing before LeBron arrived in Miami?
Look how I'm going to turn up. Turn up.
When LeBron left, how long before they got back to another NBA Finals? When LeBron went to Cleveland, how long before they returned to the finals? They went all 4 years, they won one. So this notion that LeBron James doesn't move the needle is just not true. You might not like him. You can call him all the names you want, but it's factual.
No, LeBron moved the needle. Nobody going against.
It's factual.
That's a troll in the chat.
Pure and simple.
But you crashed out, though.
I get it. See, y'all blame it. So he's in Phoenix. He got Devin Booker, who's an all-star. Bradley Beal was an all-star. They missed the playoffs.
Shannon Sharpe goes off on Kevin Durant. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Does the Sun missing the playoffs change your view on KD's legacy?
Not really.
No, absolutely not. I don't think it changes his legacy. There's only so much KD can do. KD still, regardless to them missing the playoffs, will be one of the greatest scorers of all time. Nothing will change that. I think the chase of having super teams, I think it's come to an end now. I think it's come to an end. KD's probably going to he will move on somewhere else. Where he goes, I'm not sure. I think he will try to get another title or two. So wherever he chooses to go, I'm sure management might not cooperate, but probably give him that grace and sending him somewhere where he wants to play and where he.
Yeah, KD's definitely leaving the Suns, but as far as this affecting his legacy is cemented. There's nothing else KD can really do to heighten his legacy. One of the greatest scorers ever, 2-time champion. Yeah, people want to throw dirt on his name because he went to a Golden State Warriors team that had the greatest regular season win-loss record ever, 73-9. So, yeah, of course, people are going to hate on KD. I may have fell into the mix before where I kind of was clowning him, like, how could you go to the Warriors? But once you seen him on the Warriors, he carried that team. Yeah, it didn't work out in Brooklyn, didn't work out in Phoenix, but you add up all the injuries and just not being a good fit in Brooklyn and with the Suns, can't really hold that against KD, but at the same time, he's an all-time great, so he was supposed to be much better in Phoenix, but it didn't work out. But shout out to KD, still a legend.
He has a chance of winning a title. I don't think Devin Booker is going to be there as well. No. I think I'm not going to use it. I don't hate using the term you wore out your welcome. You don't want to stay too long, similar to what stayed with the Blazers a little too long because he wanted to be loyal.
No, you're talking about KG with the Timberwolves.
No. With the Trailblazers.
Dame Dollar?
Yeah, Dame. I don't want Devin Booker to do that. You know, I don't want you to wear out your welcome and try to be loyal to a franchise that really isn't going anywhere. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to compete at a championship, or at least make the playoffs and get past the first round. So I think both of them are probably going, and the Suns are going to have to scrap everything and just really start all over.
Yeah, as far as Booker leaving the Suns, I can see that happening. Great analogy by Ocho, saying that he doesn't want to end up like a Dame Lillard, loyal to the soil, and 10 years later, didn't really get anywhere. I think the furthest he got with the Portland Trail Blazers was that Western Conference Finals versus the Golden State Warriors, and we know how that turned out. So if you're Booker, do you lead the Phoenix Suns? You're about 27, 28, still got many years left. It'll be an opportunity for him to leave, and the Suns can rebuild this team one piece at a time.
But this is where I would disagree with you. This notion that we drop Kevin Durant in, and that team is automatically a championship contending team is just no longer true. We've seen him get dropped in at Brooklyn. He got swept, and he got to the second round. He had a 3-2 lead, and he lost 2 games, the game 7 on his court. We see him go to Phoenix with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal.
Yes, sir.
While his legacy might not be altered, it may or may not. Let's see once his career is done. But this notion that you drop Kevin Durant in anywhere, and they are a championship contending team is no longer true.
That may be true what Unc is saying. You drop KD on the team, that doesn't automatically say that they're going to be a championship team, but he may not be able to shift the powers like he did back in 2016. You drop KD on the Lakers, I guarantee they win a championship. Luka, LeBron, KD, Austin Reaves, You drop KD back on the Golden State Warriors. We've seen what they've been doing the last few weeks with Jimmy. They're a championship team. So, yeah, maybe not every team you drop KD on, they're an automatic championship team, but there's at least 4 to 5 teams currently right now. You throw KD on there, they can win a championship. But I hear what Shannon is saying.
It's no longer true. And I don't think I defy the person that can argue that point and say, Shannon, it is true. We saw him with Kyrie. We saw him with James Harden. We saw him with Devin Booker. We saw him with Bradley Beal.
Right.
The only thing that we know is Steph Curry, Draymond, and Klay Thompson. That was a team that won 73 games the year before he got there and blew a 3-1 lead. They beat a team. Kevin Durant was on the team that blew the 3-1 lead to Golden State.
You see what I mean? KD always going to face backlash for going to the Warriors. Yeah, the team beats you and then you go on that team the next season. I get it. I was like that too years ago. How could KD do this? But at the same time, did you not see what he did in Golden State? He saved that franchise after blowing a 3-1 lead versus the Cavs. Teams as good as Golden State, that's not supposed to happen. KD goes there, they're pretty much unbeatable for 3 years. He doesn't tear his Achilles versus the Toronto Raptors. They go 3-0. They win all 3 final appearances. So at the end of the day, man, people are going to hate on KD. It is what it is. Not saying Unc is hating, but he's trying to keep it real to a certain perspective. But I just feel as though KD, he still has some ways to go. He can still contribute to a championship team, and he can shift the balance of power to a few teams in the NBA.
Golden State turned around and blew a 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So with that being said, I think it's going to be hard-pressed for any analysis, for any historian, for any player in the NBA, as great as Kevin Durant is, to say that you just drop him in and they're a championship contending team is not true.
It's a couple teams.
It's not true.
Think about it. It is true.
Because we've seen it.
You're wrong.
Hold on. Even with him being able to score the way he can.
So what happened? So could he not score in Brooklyn?
Well, you remember everything went haywire in Brooklyn with Kyrie.
Okay, what happened in Phoenix? You see, you keep coming up with excuses.
Well, I'm just telling you what, it's not excuses if it's documented on what happened. Kyrie, I'm not sure what was wrong with Kyrie. James Harden wanted out. I mean, it seemed like everything fell apart from what looked good that I thought, as somewhat of a basketball fan, I'm like,
you can say it's excuses, but these are facts. It didn't work out in Brooklyn. The whole Kyrie situation, not saying that he's wrong, but facing backlash, never really got the team chemistry. Then you had some injuries as well. They came close versus the Milwaukee Bucks. If his toe wasn't on the line, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Who knows what happens if they face the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then with the Phoenix Suns, the whole Bradley Beal thing was a terrible look. Yeah, they probably could have competed before he got there, but at the same time, them getting Bradley Beal, they thought it was going to be a huge historical move to finally win that championship, but it didn't work out. So you had the injuries in there, KD still getting old, teams getting better. Yeah, you can say there are excuses, but these are facts at the same time. So I get it. If you're as good as KD, you got to figure it out. But one man can't go against the Western Conference, even with a Booker. It ain't happening.
Oh, well, the Nets, they definitely they're going to have a shot. They definitely coming out the East. That's what I thought until, Kyrie was disgruntled. James Harden got upset. He wanted out. And KD was like,
why?
They're by himself.
Why did James Harden want to get out?
Well, I have no idea. I don't know what type of internal issues they were having. Just from the outside looking in, I thought it was a good.
Yeah, y'all stop this. See, every time we have a conversation, they try to slide LeBron. That's not true because LeBron went to Miami. Okay, what were they doing before LeBron arrived in Miami?
Look how I'm going to turn up.
When LeBron left, how long before they got back to another NBA Finals? When LeBron went to Cleveland, how long before they returned to the finals? They went all 4 years, they won one. Kyrie got hurt in the overtime of game one. Kevin Love never played in that series. He goes to the Lakers. And in the second year, they win a title. So this notion that where LeBron James goes, the rings don't follow is just not true because we've seen him move 3 times. In all 3 locations, there's a trophy, and he's the finals MVP.
Oh, no, that's great. Not saying that you're wrong about that, but the same energy you got toward LeBron and, defending him, Now, I mean, you could do the same thing for KD. Not saying you got to have the same emotion because I know you ain't cool with KD as much as you're cool with LeBron, but so you displayed a lot of passion when it came to LeBron. You were about to crash out on that person in the chat. Now, I mean, crash out by KD too. You know his greatness, but I get it. If KD was a part of Clutch Sports, if KD was in your circle, I don't know if you're having the same conversation. Yeah, you may point out some of the quote unquote facts, but you can see there's an energy difference between LeBron and KD.
So this notion that LeBron James doesn't move the needle is just not true. You might not like him. You can call him all the names you want, but it's factual.
No, LeBron moved the needle. Nobody going against.
It's factual.
That's a troll in the chat.
Pure and simple.
But you crashed out, though.
I get it. He's the most, I mean, he has a Ken doll now, the first athlete to be a Ken ambassador. Very unique. Unbelievable.
Congrats.
They got all the details right. But this notion, guys, come on now, let's be fair. See, y'all blame it. So he's in Phoenix. He got Devin Booker, who's an all-star. Bradley Beal was an all-star. They missed the playoffs.
Bradley Beal was a bust when it came to the Phoenix Suns. You know it. You got to really speak the full context. Yeah, on paper, 3 very great players, but in reality, you got a Devin Booker and you got a KD. That's pretty much it. And you got a team that wasn't really built around KD and Booker like that. They had to trade a lot, got rid of Bridges and other players just to get KD. So management, they didn't execute the trades correctly. Maybe you try to get KD a different way, but at the same time, it is what it is. So yeah, no excuses, but it's just reality. The Phoenix Suns, they were never going to work out.
With 3 all-stars. They missed the playoffs. They got swept the first year. Come on, man. Cleveland seems to be doing fine without him. How long is LeBron? Hold on. How long has LeBron been in LA?
Crash out part 2. LeBron.
It's been 4 years?
Like 7 years?
It's been
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 6 years.
Okay.
So 6 years. Now, I know after LeBron left, give me the pick. Darius Garland. What pick was Darius Garland?
We know he was a top draft pick.
Because if you're doing well, you're not picking Darius Garland. Darius Garland was a top 5 pick. Am I correct?
They talking about now.
He was the 5th pick in the draft. What about Sexton? What pick was he?
Colin Sexton.
Look, we know. We get you. We understand, man. It's cool. You want all the
What
facts.
pick was Evan Mobley? So this notion y'all talking about Cleveland seem to be just fine. They should be. They got a top. Evan Mobley was the 3rd pick in the draft. Darius Garland was the 5th pick in the draft. Okoro was the 5th pick in the draft.
We get it. LeBron is the GOAT.
What pick was Sexton?
Understand this.
Mobley was 3. Sexton, Okoro was 5. Garland was 5. What about Sexton? They ended up trading him to get Donovan Mitchell. He was a lottery pick.
Yeah.
He was 8. So I damn sure hope so. They doing just fine now.
At the end of the day, man, shout out to LeBron. I know you're going to crash out about him. This conversation started out as KD's legacy being affected by the Phoenix Suns and him not, making waves ever since the Golden State Warriors. So I get it. But at the end of the day, shout out to KD. Still a legend. This whole Suns experiment, it shouldn't affect his legacy. He's still going to end up being one of the greatest scorers ever.